Okay, we're back from the break and we're talking about COVID and we're talking about the requirements for testing, for vaccination and testing. Gentlemen, the issues that I wanted just to touch on this morning for us to think about, it's going to have to win this thing is a couple of things. First of all, at some point, and Rebecca and I have discussed this, at some point, we're going to have to require each employee to tell us whether or not they've been vaccinated. Right, Rebecca?
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to have to think about how we want to phrase that and craft that into our policy, but that's going to have to be a requirement because for those people who have not been vaccinated, they're going to have to comply with a weekly testing requirement, correct, Rebecca? So,
And they're gonna have to comply, and we're compelled to offer it, right?
We are not
no,
compelled to. We
Oh, we're
can.
not.
that's the other part of the discussion.
We're just
here.
compelled to make sure it happens if we choose to go there.
So we're just hoping that requiring employees to tell us whether or not they've been vaccinated is not going to be the first obstacle that we encounter.
Well, my feeling is we should be doing just what the law is. I mean, I'm trying to keep my personal feelings out of this, but I think we should be required to do what the law says we have to, no more and no less, because that's what we have to do. If we try to do more or less, we're gonna get in trouble with, if we try to do more, the employees are going to get upset and we may lose some. If we don't do enough, we're gonna get in trouble with OSHA. So,
Right, so in order to do what we're supposed to do, we have to know what the status is of each and every employee that works here, which requires them, because it's something they did, it's something personal they did, it's something they're gonna have to be required to divulge to us. I'm just hoping that's not going to set the stage for the first conflict we have with this policy, but it's gotta happen, correct, Rebecca? There's no way to work around it.
Assuming the ETS are enforceable, yes.
so,
Right, in other words, the ETS right now and whatnot would require us to know whether or not our employees. Now, the other thing I'm concerned about, gentlemen, is that with the resistance from some people to be vaccinated, that this isn't going to get everybody vaccinated. They'll opt for the testing requirement. And I would like everybody to be vaccinated, but on the same token, I would like to make sure that we meet these people halfway with accommodating their need to be tested. Now, I haven't talked to Rebecca about this, but, and it seems like every time you hear something, it's different. But at one point, home testing was like 95% as effective as whatever the option of home testing is, facility testing, whatever. If that be the case, Rebecca, can we rely upon home testing to meet the testing requirement for non-vaccinated employees?
I don't know. That's part of what they're trying to work out. There's a lot of unanswered questions that go along with.
I don't think it does, because when you get tested, you get a document that you can give to somebody.
Well, that's where I'm going with home testing. Because I'm wondering if we can't develop a program where the non-vaccinated employees make an appointment with an individual within county government who monitors the self-testing of that employee to the point of where they can validate the results of that test when they're done. So now, just hypothetically, we have a room, we'll say Millard's office. We'll say there's one person in the jail that says, I'm not going to get vaccinated. I want 1 weekly testing. So they make an arrangement, an appointment with Rebecca. They come down, they're given the home test. Rebecca monitors that test being taken. And they go through the process of getting the results from that. And then she records that for recording purposes. And if it's a negative test, then we just move on. If it's a positive test, then you kick in plan B, whatever that is.
Well, seems workable if it's legal. We don't know if it's legal yet.
Well, it's the home testing part, I guess, that wouldn't be, that they would poo-poo, that they want something more reliable, I guess.
Well, we don't even know that.
I know it, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
But if we can use home testing, I'm just thinking that, because the flip side of that is that, okay, employee who's unvaccinated, you're gonna have to go to Walgreens, you're gonna have to go to the hospital, you're gonna have to take it upon yourself to go somewhere every week to get a test, and you're gonna have to get the results, you're gonna have to bring that back to us, and you can see how unmanageable that could become if they don't want to cooperate, or they just get sloppy about the testing, and next thing you know, this weekly thing turns into twice a month because they didn't get it done when they should have. Rebecca, do you have some suggestions on?
I wish I did. I do have a concern about that scenario you just described. I think it's a good idea in theory, but it is a medical test. And so I'm not sure where the line between administering and observing the test is drawn. And I'm not a medical health professional or anyone else on our staff. So that
Nor do you want to be.
being placed in that position might, come with a certain amount of liability. The only other thing I guess I'd offer is that we're one of, I don't know how many employers that are in the same boat. So all of these things that we're trying to figure out, everyone else is trying to figure out too. And I think we'll
This,
be able to,
you must participate in a county listserv of some sort, right? Everybody's facing the same thing.
yeah.
County must have something like an MMA, but
MCCA,
Yeah,
or
okay.
NAPS, or MACAN, which is the managers group.
yeah,
Yeah, this started a discussion, and I think that's where you're going. This started a discussion that kind of died when the state came about. Just like currently now, is that now that it's been removed, however, I guess as of sometime last night or this morning, it is the case is before the Supreme Court. Gosh, what's this, Kavanaugh? Kavanaugh is reviewing it right now is basically what was stated. So what comes out of that?
well, my feeling is I would like to be as consistent with the law and a group of entities similar to ours as
Right.
possible.
Yeah.
So that it does not get political or personal
Mhm.
at this level.
But the problem I'm having is that if there's too many options in here, you could have an entity who's going to take a hard and fast line,
I agree.
knowing that it's going to cost them employees. And I'm thinking that we're in a position where we can't afford to lose employees. We can't afford to lose jail staff and patrol staff because our policies are so rigid and we didn't implement options that would have taken some of the stress out of this thing. So I guess my point is that I'd like to see us. I don't want to tell these people we're going to mollycoddle, on the same token, we'll meet them halfway to try to accommodate the requirement without being so rigid that they're just going to say, I'm out of here.
I think the general thought process with it is that you're gonna give the employees the option, obviously, either vaccinated or you're not. If you choose not to be vaccinated, you're gonna be submitted to the test. And the tests aren't gonna cost the employees anything. That it's either gonna be absorbed by, in our case, the county or the company. And I was telling Scott at the break that there was a huge push to get the quick rapid testing production up. That's been going on for a while to get the production up. And there's a big move to get the pricing way down or free to individuals, even outside, obviously, a government entity like ourselves. But so I think some of the concerns about how is it going to get administered will become more clear in the next few weeks if it goes forward. But to me, when I think about how this was going to get done, it's pretty clear that the testing would happen at the workplace. And they just go, somebody in the administration is going to monitor it happen. And you wait the 5 minutes, and you get the answer to the test. So,
And see, I understand Rebecca's concern. I'm hoping it's not like dispensing prescriptions, which you can't do. But anyways, I'm concerned that we have employees who are either negligent or just too lackadaisical with the compliance, the testing compliance. And next thing you know, you're looking at an employee it's only doing it twice a month instead of once every week. And what are you faced with?
so I think that's why I think in cases companies or governments are going to be doing it on site.
And that's what I think that is the solution to. But that is the answer to making sure that we're diligent in getting weekly testing is to somehow have physically control it when it's done. And
You must have a gut feeling of, because people talk. Do you have a gut feeling of how many people we're talking? Is it like 50% or is it like 10%?
No,
It's probably like 5 to 10%.
say maybe less than,
Might be half a dozen
10.
people.
yeah, I would say 10, less than
Yeah.
10 individuals.
Okay.
Would be my guess.
Okay, that was my guess.
Yeah.
So why would we, I've found that this place on High Street, whatever that new building is,
Convenient MD.
Convenient MD, is absolutely the fastest and easiest place to go, most consistent. Can't the county work with somebody? I mean, on-site testing would be great. I just don't know how feasible it is.
Right.
But couldn't we,
well, if we had an entity that's willing to do it, that's something, but it's another thing to get the employee to go there, to get it done. And if you take the jail, I mean, if you take a guy who only works nights, sleeps days, and I can just see a whole bunch of reasons why we're just not complying with the testing problem.
Yeah, but I think
Maybe I'm inventing problems that aren't there, and I think it's more than half a dozen. I think you're gonna find it's 10 to 15. It's supposedly 6 in the jail, still a couple at DSO.
And I would think that if this mandate comes out and you provide that option, that just the pure inconvenience of it, people are gonna probably lean towards being vaccinated.
Well,
And that may take care of a few. Now, with regards to, employee, just without naming a particular reason, but not complying, as you stated, that's the piece though where we're meeting you halfway. Actually, in my opinion, more than halfway with how we're discussing. So you need to help. Matter of fact, if we don't administer the test, what we might do in our office is, oh my word, I forgot to get. So we may help with can Rebecca call down a convenient MD and push this one through, or whoever we work with, that type of scenario. Those are services we could offer.
Convenient MD is hit or miss though. You can, when you, some days and whatnot, take you right in, another time, you gotta come back in 4 hours, you only have one doctor, so.
yeah, they're facing.
You're gonna face that with any institution
Right, and
or organization.
But the other problem with home testing is you can't give the employee a test, take it home, take the test, and bring us back the results.
Right,
You don't know who the hell got tested.
right.
So if you don't monitor that test, can we really assure that,
That's why this is so cumbersome. I think we gotta see, that's why I was looking for, you could
Yeah.
spend all your waking hours working on this.
Right, right.
I think it's designed to be inconvenient.
Yes, yes, and I think we wait and see, what happens, and then, as you pointed out, Commissioner, is how are other counties deal? That'll be one of the first things I do, is I'll say, okay, gang, what are we gonna do with this situation? Or what are you planning on doing? And it will vary from hardcore to,
okay, so I didn't intend to develop any policy this one. I just wanted this
Right.
conversation to be had so that you could kind of plant the seed what
Yes.
some of the issues might be. when-
What's coming down the pike?
yeah, but I mean, you
I
are,
can tell you what, Rebecca can develop whatever's going to be necessary. Rebecca can develop that for us. I just need you to know that in talking to Rebecca about some of these issues, you ought to have some, little little heads up on exactly what she's up against in trying to develop.
Yeah, and we, because, we're gonna have to comply with that too. Which we are, I guess, as we all have, but.
Give you either vaccine or the test.
Right. Well, I've done both. I've got every shot there is possible, but.
Okay, let's move on then. But just, that was the discussion I was looking for. Thank you. Let's, gentlemen, Board of Commissioners, item 9A. The law that requires us to pay survivors benefits for the death of an employee or deputy and whatnot gives us the opportunity to pay that at our discretion. We've been paying Lauren weekly, and she's been coming in to get them, so I understand and whatnot, but of course that requires attention by the staff 52 times a year and whatnot. I'd like to propose that we pay that quarterly, the first pay week of each annual quarter. And have you had an opportunity to tell Lauren that we're thinking about changing that?
No, I haven't spoken with her for a few weeks. I haven't seen her for a couple of weeks, but she knew this was probably.
She was coming.
Mhm. And she was, the last time I spoke with her, she seemed okay with that.
Our payroll is weekly,
Yeah,
Used to be bi-weekly and,
should be bi-weekly.
you know, and a lot of resistance to that when it went bi-weekly and they finally got back to weekly. But I'll tell you, Paul, there's so many employees that live week to week paycheck is,
I know,
and
but
it's simply because they can't manage money. And then if you give them 2 weeks pay, they're out of money. And what was happening, I know in the jail, I shouldn't say jail, but anyways, in some places was that they was causing them to start borrowing money from fellow employees, and that's an issue we should be avoiding. So,
anyway,
All right.
so I'm gonna move change method of benefit payment to Lauren Cross to quarterly instead of weekly effective January 2020.
seconded. Any further discussion with that? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. So, a motion's in order for an executive session to talk about union negotiations.
Move to go into executive session as permitted by MRSA 1, MRSA Title 1, Section 456D for union contract negotiation.
Seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are in executive session. Rebecca